here, and she was figuring out what she wanted to do. And
Nice.
so she wasn't a tech or anything like that. She was just a professional cat lady.
My favorite kind.
Right, right.
Wendy, hello.
Hi, Wendy.
Hey. You.
Loving the hair.
Thank you.
So I just want to kind of open things up and say thank you guys so much for coming and joining us today. And it's a total privilege to have some real rock stars in the house.
Aw.
Now,
Working
for
on
those of you guys who
Thank
don't know them, they are truly amazing. And I just happen to be able to pull some strings because I know Mike from way back when. And you are going to hear some amazing sauciness tonight. And I know everyone's been missing concerts and things like that. So I'm super, super stoked about the fact that we can offer this tonight.
Thanks for
Sure.
having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So we just thought we'd play, we just talk a little bit, hang out a little bit, and play some of our favorite songs, and maybe talk about influences and things like that, and maybe your guys' favorite music and stuff. And that's all. Maybe we should start with the introduction.
That sounds
Number
amazing.
one, my name is Mike, and Wendy and I have been playing in a band together for 20 odd years now. And our guitar player can't join us tonight because he's a high school band director here in Madison. And so he has to high school band direct, whatever that means. No, he's got a concert, and but we wanted to play some songs for everybody and let you know. So we're a rock band that takes inspiration from paranormal stuff, sci-fi stuff. And, a lot of people can write love songs, but not everybody writes love songs about werewolves. And so we try to make that into a fun thing and go and shoot videos in fun places and make music wherever we can. And so I play bass and I sing and acoustic guitar sometimes. And that's enough about me. Let's hear a little bit about Wendy.
Hi, I'm Wendy. And I play the drums with the full band, and then also violin, and do some singing as well. So kind of depends on the situation. We do a mixture depending on the venue. I mean, we write most of our songs for the full electric, loud format of rock. So that's what we do most of the time, but there are situations where we play in smaller venues or on the radio, or, just places that maybe a whole band with drums and distorted guitars don't quite fit. And for those occasions, we take our songs and we create special arrangements of them with acoustic instruments. So that's where a lot of the violin fits in for that.
And since it is, speaking of doing those kind of arrangements and stuff like that, since it is Halloween time, I thought we'd start with a live video real quick that Wendy and I shot in a cemetery in Austin, Texas. And this was a couple of years back. We went down for South by Southwest, and we're at this place called the Oakwood Cemetery. Oakwood is like a super popular name for a bunch of cemeteries, probably because that's what they built the crosses and stuff out of. But this is a cemetery, right? It's almost right off downtown Texas. Like you can see the skyline and everything.
In
right,
Austin.
Wen? Yeah, in Austin. And but it's got people there from like the 1850s and stuff, and they had a whole bunch of cool paranormal stories about it. So we thought we'd sing a song there and see if we could dig anybody up. And so let me grab that. And okay, so let me share my screen here and optimize for a video clip and share sound. And so this is our song called Skeleton Key, and in a pretty fun haunted cemetery. I was a ghost without a story. I spectered looking for the past, waiting and just watching all these lives pass
by so fast. I wrote a tale without a hero, and I wrote a song without a tune. But all stories need an ending, and I hope that ending's you. So hear my prayer. Let me know that you can see me there. Exercise. Take my hand and let's go toward the light. For you're the skeleton key to set my spirit free tonight. I was a grave without a headstone, wandering the forest, alone in a crowd, as a soul that's dispossessed. I was a murder without a body, and I was a crime without a scene. But all done, it's need a who, and I hope you'll hear my plea. So hear my prayer, and let me know that you can see me there. Exercise. Take my hand and let's go toward the light. For you're the skeleton key to set my spirit free tonight. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I was a ghost without a story, a specter looking for a path, waiting and just watching all these lives pass by so fast. I wrote a tale without a hero, I wrote a song without a tune, but all stories need an ending, and I hope that ending's you. So hear my prayer, and let me know that you can see me there. Exercise. Take my hand and let's go toward the light. You're the skeleton key to set my spirit free tonight. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh. Thank you, Oakwood, especially the medical bodies. Medical students.
Oh, I forgot.
The weird ending.
Yeah, the weird ending. Sorry. There was a ghost story involved in that place where people, the rumor was that for the University of Texas, which is like the flagship university, the medical students would sneak in there and sometimes grab corpses and bring them over. So it's kind of veterinary related. You know, it's the healthcare industry.
We may or may not do some of that ourselves.
So
Ours is usually just finding body parts in our pockets.
Ooh.
You know, the odd testicle.
Oh.
yeah,
No.
I hear you. Definitely.
Oh.
No, but that I do think though that the people like that you guys that take care of animals, that is doing God's work. Because, you know, if you think like the regular person goes to the doctor, they might be scared. At least they know what they're there for. Right. So you get there, you're like, okay, I'm a little scared, but I know the doctor's here to help me. When you get a dog or something, he doesn't know you're there to help him. He's terrified. Or, you know, your cat, the cat doesn't like anybody anyway. Doesn't like, my cats don't like me.
It's funny because our talk on Saturday was actually all about fear-free. So we had an amazing speaker named Nicole who came in and talked about how to work with pets in a way that actually sets them at ease so that we don't have to struggle to get them to do things that we need them to do.
That's nice.
Oh.
It's an incredible movement. Yeah, absolutely. And actually, the winners of we have a door prize raffle going on for all of these. And two of the things that they can win are actually fear-free certifications. So you can actually go through a whole certification to become fear-free.
That's
So
incredible.
That's
amazing
pretty
stuff.
cool.
Yeah,
All
good segue. Thank you.
Well, we'll add to the door prizes too. So if anybody's in Wisconsin, we have two pairs of tickets to we're playing next week with the Gin Blossoms and Fastball in the Wisconsin Dells.
Oh my gosh.
So we can we make that part of the door prizes too, and just send me an email with the people who win it, and then we'll get you guys tickets.
Fantastic.
So
I'll put them up, and we'll do a door prize just for the people in the area.
Okay,
Cool.
good.
With the Gin Blossoms, you guys are a big deal.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that'll be fun. That'll be fun. It's a little blast from the past. But so
We do love the 90s.
right. Well, I mean, that's when we started playing. And so we talk about influences and stuff like that. Like this summer we played with Everclear a couple of times, and that was like a direct influence on a lot of our songwriting. And so that sticking us with 90s bands just seems to be appropriate. It kind of is like, okay, that's fair. It's fair. Anyway, but yes, so a lot of the stuff, like, we picked that last song we did. Like the idea is just looking at the chat here. Sorry. Never met a testicle I wouldn't consider odd. But
we're not morbid in veterinary medicine at all. No.
Right. I mean, right. You have to have a really good sense of humor, I think, to do that kind of work. Like I think you have to have a good sense of humor to be a musician, because Wendy and I end up in a lot of situations that are less than ideal. You go somewhere and you drive 6 hours to a venue, and then they're like, oh yeah, you're in this, here you are, here's your corner, kind of thing. You go somewhere, they say they have a sound system, and it's like a bullhorn, and you're like, that we thought you meant a PA. So things like that, you just have to end up laughing at each other, because a lot of times it's not what you think it's going to be, but that's okay, because then sometimes that ends up being the best memories.
So I think I have a question that follows that up. What
Yes.
has been the funniest moment that you guys have ever had in a concert?
Oh boy.
Or most embarrassing? And when you get
Oh.
double marks if you can embarrass Mike.
Oh,
Wow.
goody. I've got one.
Okay, you can start, and I'll tell the most embarrassing moment about Ben.
Probably. Okay. All right. That's cool. Yeah. No. Well, actually, I think this might be a Ben story.
Okay, we go both of them.
Is yours take place in Illinois?
It does, but then I'll have
You have a
another
different
by
one
the time
backed
we go.
up. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we were doing a concert at this venue. I think it was in Harvard, Illinois. I believe it was like some high school. It was an all ages show, and we're playing, and I keep seeing the people who were like coordinating the show looking at me and making this weird face and kind of going like this, and I'm like just playing and trying to like, okay, why are these people, why do they keep making these weird faces at me and this like strange gesture toward their nether regions? And it turned out that like Ben's fly it was Ben, right, Mike?
Might have been mine.
Somebody's fly was wide open, right front and center, like on the stage. One of my bandmates, either Mike or Ben. I'm sorry, this was probably 10 years ago. So,
Right.
but they just, instead of just, coming up to the stage and telling us, they were trying to like, be like, hey. And I had
Right.
no
Zip
idea.
it
I just
up.
thought these people were weird. I'm like, what is going on? So after doing the whole show with this fly down, then he found out like why everybody was acting that way. And so that was an embarrassing moment.
That's pretty awesome though.
But funny.
It's pretty good. Mine's about Ben. It's not necessarily an embarrassing moment. But yes, well, yeah, it is. So we're playing right outside of Chicago. And he was super sick. Ended up getting mono. And but he didn't realize it was mono at the time or whatever. And but he's not feeling well, like right before we get on stage. He's like, okay, I'm going to tough it out. Great. And so he gets on and he's got a wireless guitar. And all of a sudden he's like, I got to go. And runs to the bathroom. And he's still trying to play the intro to the song. And I'm trying to talk over it, you know? And so he's wireless, but the pickup of the guitar, it sometimes can pick up loud noises next to it. And Ben starts throwing up. He goes to the bathroom. He's playing. It's still like a chicka, 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 chicka. It's still going. And then I'm trying to like go, hi, everybody. How you doing? Tell some jokes or something. And then you hear this, like coming out of the bathroom, like coming through the speaker. And I'm like, okay.
And Mike and I are like, a bass and drum sets, like trying to entertain trying to keep things cool while we have no idea what's going on.
Right. Like what's
like
happening?
If he's coming back or when.
Did Ben just barf? And so that was just the show must go on. And so we just kept on playing, telling jokes. I think I sang like all three verses of Baby Got Back at some point, trying to get the crowd to, not lose them. And it ended up being all right. Like it ended
You've
up.
had some fly down incidents too, though.
I'm going to speak for all of the vet techs in the room and all of the vet techs that are going to watch this after the fact, but none of us like human stuff. So dogs vomiting, totally okay, right? You can back me up on this one. Dogs vomiting, fine, but people vomiting,
Oh,
nope.
No thanks.
not good.
Done.
That's fair.
That's so funny. Trying to think if we have any animal related stories.
Like no, where we get like
In the road.
attacked. We never got attacked by a bear or anything like that on stage.
No, I can't think of any. There's got to be
All right.
something in the,
Well,
archives.
Well, let's jump to another live track then. And so this particular song, we probably used this as our closer for like, I don't know, 200 shows or something like that. And about 10 years ago, we did a 3-week tour where we put together like a rock opera kind of thing of our songs and had, connective tissue between the songs and some characters in it that showed on video screens that we react and talk to back and forth. And then we ended up making a DVD of it. And so it was that, like embarrassing stories, like every night something blew up on stage except the very last one. And that was when we recorded. So that was just like, it was like a miracle. Like I'm not the kind of guy that believes in miracles, but that night I was like, wow, like we didn't make any mistakes. How did that, like, and every night something's horrible, like humiliating happened on stage. And the one night we have all the cameras on, it didn't.
Right. Like if it wasn't us screwing up, it was the technology. We had a lot of technology going on because we had the whole lighting show that we programmed and we had multiple video screens and everything was synchronized together. And we were doing it on a very low DIY indie band budget. So we were applying every possible trick to get it to work. So it was like every night, if the router didn't go down, like one of the video projectors would go down or something. It was something every night. And but the last night was pure magic and it actually worked. Right.
So sometimes the good guys win. And that was one time on that tour it did. So I thought I'd play it. There's a song called Summer Day. And this is one of our happy songs. And so I thought we want to share that with everybody. And then I'll just fast forward to the music here. And if you guys are interested in actually watching the whole thing, we have it available in the playlist on YouTube. We have the entire concert that was captured along with the whole kind of rock opera kind of deal. So let me share this and bust in. And here is our song, Summer Day. Up. The business of a summer day. Well, I don't know where the road will lead me next.
I asked my old man what will become of me, and he said, nothing is all you do and it's all you'll ever be. It might make you sad that this is my home. It might make you mad that this is all I know. The business of a summer day, where nothing is all to do when it's all I'll ever be. It's all I'll be. A triplets waste of space, another welfare case. You can't make me grow up. I won't waste my time on your assembly line. You can't make me grow up. It's like a lazy lounge chair and a nice cold high life. Oh, I don't know what I ever want to change. Ambition falls away as I drift to sleep. This moment's gone, but it was mine to keep. It might make you sad that this is my home. You're just like my dad, what do you know? And the businessless of a summer day, where nothing is all to do when it's all I have to be. It's all I'll be. Triplets waste of space, another welfare case. You can't make me grow up. I won't waste my time on your assembly line. You can't make me grow up. Come on, man, go get 'em. It might make you sad that this is my home. You're just like my dad, what do you know? And the purposelessness of a summer day, where nothing is all to do and it's all I'll ever be. It's all I'll be. Triplets waste of space, another welfare case. You can't make me grow up. I won't waste my time on your assembly line. You can't make me grow up. You'll never make me. You can't make me grow up. You'll never make me grow up. Oh yeah!
All right, that's can't see my bald spot now, and that's how long ago that was. But
That's just creative placement of the headphones.
that's
There you go.
right. Right. No, I always said like if I could make it, if my hair could make it till I was 40, I'd be happy. And then I got over 40 and I'm like, oh, I still gonna keep it. So now I'm just getting selfish. All right. I'm just checking in the chat. Yes, right. Live music's kind of back.
Yeah, I mean, it's much better position than it was, even like
Last year.
Yeah. Or even like 6 months ago, things are
Mhm.
more and more places are having concerts. So that's positive, I think.
Summerfest happened.
Yes, it did.
Did.
We
Yes, it
ended up,
did. You had to
we
show your
ended up at a concert at Summerfest. What was it?
Was it Sunspot?
It was not
should have been
Sunspot. Were you
could have
guys
been
at
us.
Summerfest?
We were the 9th. We were there on the 9th.
Are you kidding?
We were there. I was us, and that was with Everclear
The Miller Lite Oasis.
and the
We won
Coheed and Cambria.
tickets to we won tickets, gosh, I'm gonna have to ask who it was, but we won tickets to something with 1029, and they take you to Summerfest, and
Well, that's
some
fun.
some band played at this little tiny venue before we went there, and anyways,
Cool. That
we
sounds
didn't
fun.
stay for it.
Well, it was interesting because it definitely was it wasn't as many people as it was when it was in the middle of summer,
Well, and I feel like maybe we should tell the folks who are not from Wisconsin
yeah.
what Summerfest is, because they are missing out entirely.
Yes. So Summerfest is it's like a 10-day festival in Milwaukee that takes place end of June, early July. It always like it's the 4th of July is usually like the halfway point in it. And you have so you have this amphitheater stage, this big giant 25, 30,000 person stage where you have somebody like Tom Petty, well, but obviously before he died, but somebody monstrous, it's
Let's
like
hope before he died.
Right. Yeah, it'd be a little weird.
it wasn't Milwaukee's fault. But you take somebody who's a huge star, like on that stage, and then there's 12 different side stages, and the 12 different side is each one of those side stages is a headliner, is somebody who's amazing. Like in the side stage, like the headline of the side stage. I mean, I've seen like Judas Priest there, or like huge acts, like Alice Cooper would be on the side stage. It's like or I saw Ringo Starr, there, Weird Al. So
For
it's
like Collective Soul and like just
The Wallflowers at one point. Yeah, like
yeah,
yeah, so many.
for
right.
a ticket that the tickets were like $15 and you could just wander to any of the open stages and see as many as many bands as you wanted to throughout the full day. It's pretty amazing value.
Yeah. So it's pretty great. So right, so you have somebody huge, and then and all the even if you don't go to that big show, there's big shows like 12 big shows happening simultaneously at the same time, and so it's pretty amazing. And so last year, obviously they didn't have it because it gets pretty packed in there. And this year they brought it back like on 3 weekends in September.
Mhm.
And you had to show a test or a vaccine card or whatever to get in, or to even to play like that. You had to, the performers had to be like, they gave us the check and stuff like that. And so, that was the thing, to make sure that, you weren't coughing on anybody or whatever at Summerfest this year, because you were gonna be pretty close. So it wasn't as big as in the past, obviously, because it wasn't like in the summertime, but it was pretty awesome that it still happened. And the band still played, and it was a lot of fun.
I think it was bigger than I expected it, regardless, though.
That's good.
It was pretty. I had expected it to be, for lack of no puns, but a ghost town.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and it sounds like they're gonna do it again next year, later in the season, or maybe not later in the season, but they're doing the weekends again instead of doing the full
Okay.
like
Full shebang.
14 days straight or whatever. So it must have.
I feel like Summerfest is the largest music festival in the world, right? Isn't that it?
That's what they advertise it as.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
as far as being as long as it is, with as many people that come, and with many bands that come.
Big name acts.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's probably the largest, because it goes for 10 days, and it's and I mean, a couple 100,000 people show up every day.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's
a big
really
deal.
fun. So it's a good, if you ever want to make a pilgrimage to Wisconsin, first of all, doing it in June's a good idea.
Recommend.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's Don't come in January if you can help it.
Don't recommend.
And then second of all, Summerfest is a great way to see the best parts of Milwaukee.
It's true.
I think the downtown and
Yeah.
the lakefront and things like that. So it's a really
Well, and
nice,
Milwaukee in summertime is pretty magical anyways.
right.
Something to do
Yeah.
every single day,
For sure.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
It's an unsuspecting fun place to visit in the summer.
Yes.
You know, you wouldn't think like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Milwaukee.
Right. Well, I mean, that's where even in the movie Dogma or whatever, that's where there's
Right.
that's where they're gonna ban Ben Affleck and Matt Damon when they're bad or whatever. They get banned to Milwaukee to spend eternity there. And so that's Kevin Smith's idea of hell is Milwaukee. But he's from New Jersey, so he can't talk.
And that movie came out like
20
enough years ago that Milwaukee has come a long way since then. Too.
Yes, I think so too. I definitely think it's come a long way. Anyway, for you now,
There's a lot to
Wisconsinites, come
offer
down to
now.
Summerfest sometime. We'd love to see you.
Well, and
And-
you can definitely get cheese curds there, Michelle. So
All the time.
Yes, you must.
There's
fried
very few.
ones on a stick, you name it.
There's very few places in Wisconsin you can't get cheese curds. in.
Truth.
That's
Do you
true.
know that it's illegal to serve apple pie if you don't also serve cheese in a restaurant in Wisconsin?
I did not know that's illegal, but I can see why because
It is
because
delicious together.
they are delicious together. And I think people don't understand that when you get the saltiness of the cheddar with the
I wouldn't-
sweetness of the pie.
Yeah. I'd like to
It's-
know how many tickets they hand out each year for people violating that one though.
Right. They check in.
Plenty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
That
sure.
completely takes care of all of the budget deficit in Milwaukee.
Well, when my mother was growing up, they had to go to Illinois to get margarine.
What?
Yeah, so margarine was illegal. And if they went like so margarine was like a special treat.
Outlawed.
Like now they say margarine's going to give you a heart attack, whatever, and butter's good for you. The cycle has turned around. But